G'day and welcome to Queensland Weekender. Now normally this is a bit of an moment because I'm on a ferry heading over to Straddie, getting away from the hustle and bustle from the mainland. Now it's not all rest and relaxation because I'm here for a bit of training and I've got some interesting challenges on the cards. But that's later in the show, but for now, let's see what the rest of the crew are up to. Coming up today, all the action from CMC Rocks. Soaring over the Sunshine Coast.
The story that I've heard is that this airplane was actually used to patrol the Berlin Wall.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And we meet the King of Wings.
Want to find out the recipe? Find out from the Colonel first and then I'll give you mine.
Up first, here's Kip.
When 18,000 tickets sell out in 54 minutes, you know you're onto a good thing.
This is CMC Rocks. It's the biggest country music festival in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's right here in Queensland.
The crowds are revving to go at Willowbank Raceway in Ipswich. This year is the biggest festival yet, with around 20,000 people walking through the gates each day. That's music to Matthew's ears.
We've created a great community and we're lucky that our patrons just keep coming back to the event. We know we keep delivering great artists and people have a great time here. I think it's one of the friendliest festivals you can ever go to.
And the acts, well, I was going to say the acts keep getting bigger, but they started big. Like Taylor Swift was here in 2009.
I think that's the great thing about the festival and this genre. We're just a very small cog in their career, but it's great that when we create an audience for them. And that's our job. Our job is to connect the artist to the audience.
Yeah.
Gord Bamford has flown in from Canada to perform for his fans at CMC, and although he may not sound like an Aussie, we're claiming him as one.
It's crazy to see how everything's, evolved for me, back in the place I was born and, getting to reunite with my dad and my family here and also being able to play my music. It's been pretty amazing.
How are you handling the heat after Canada?
Well, I just got off the phone with my kids. I was FaceTiming them. It's snowing in Canada right now.
Yeah, right.
I'll take the heat over the snow, but it's warm.
Things are heating up for Gord, having just released his new album Neon Smoke here in Australia.
It's really starting to grow here for me. I want to thank all the Aussie fans here for liking my stuff.
Another crowd favourite is Aussie Travis Collins, who recently took home Best Male Artist at the CMC Awards.
It's been a wild ride. It's been like we've been strapped to a rocket and it just keeps taking off and I'm just hanging on for as long as I can. We're the band, we're up there and we play our instruments, but in many ways it's the fans that play us. The rowdier and the louder they are, the more enthusiastic they are, it's what feeds us. For most, seeing their favourite artist on stage is a highlight, but at CMC, there's the chance to meet them too. The artists are so accessible to the fans. Every one of us go out into that tent after we perform and we stand there and we sign. It's all about the fan experience at CMC.
Yeah.
You just got to walk around and have a look at the people here, and they haven't come for a picnic. They're here to blow the money that they've saved. And they're here to have a good time. Yeah. They're here to make those memories that, in 20 or 30 years when they're sitting around with their friends and their kids and nephews and all that sort of stuff, they're gonna, Uncle Joe will say to Dad, he'll say, I remember that time so-and-so at CMC Rocks, and that's what this CMC festival is about making memories.
And you never know who you might bump into in the crowd.
So Larry Emgar,
Thank you. How are you?
what are the chances of meeting you backstage at a country festival?
We are the two non-countryest looking people ever, right?
Really are.
You look like you've stepped off a yacht in the south of France. I look over in Bondi going for a smashed avocado.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So, how's it going? Are you having
This
fun?
is fun.
Yeah.
We love this. This is the second year we've done this. The characters and it's great TV.
Yeah.
Like great slice of life stuff for us.
Yeah.
The morning show, last time we ran this stuff, ratings went through the roof. Everyone's really interested in this part of the world and how these people do this.
You seen any shoeies yet?
Lots of shoeies, and I just saw my first thongy. Have you seen a thongy?
I did not know that was a thing.
I did not know either. So this guy takes his thong off and he puts it in his mouth like a slippery dip, and then he pours it there and it goes, yeah, it's Australia. Australia, mate.
Yeah. It's like we're trying to get tinea in your mouth.
Yeah. What's the fastest way to get a scabby mouth?
I want a scabby mouth now. Yeah.
CMC Rocks will return next year, and believe me, you'll want to get onto tickets quick. For more information on the festival, head to the Queensland Weekender website.
Great to see you, man.
Good to see you. Good luck out there.
Yeah, thank you.
In your fancy Saint-Tropez
Yeah,
sailing
I know.
outfit.
I wasn't ready for it. I don't wear chains.
Just because you just stepped off a super yacht, I'm going to help you out here. I'm going to lend you that.
Thank you.
Just so you don't get killed out there.
All right, cheers.
Good luck.
Thanks, Larry. Is that what I do?
Yeah, that's it like that.
Stay with us because after the break, an aerial tour of the sunny coast in a retired warbird.
And the water was so clear you could actually see the whales while they were underwater. Really cool.
Pick any day on the Maroochy River and you'll see all sorts of watercraft. But here's one you don't expect to spy.
Sean, how are we going?
Good day, Curtis.
What a beautiful aircraft.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, lovely day for it.
Oh, beautiful day.
Yeah.
This classic retired warbird is the pride and joy of Sean Kelly, Chief Pilot of Paradise Seaplanes. Sean offers aerial tours of the Sunshine Coast in a plane that's tailor-made for the job.
So Sean, tell us a little bit about the aircraft.
Okay, this is a Wilga 80. There are only about 4 of these in Australia.
Wow.
And this is the only one in Australia on floats. All the other ones are on wheels. So it was designed originally as an observation and reconnaissance plane. It's a Polish-built aircraft.
Yeah.
So they designed it to be basically the equivalent of our modern-day sort of stealth-type airplane. So it's very quiet. It's very stable at low speeds. Fantastic visibility out of it.
So this is my first time in a seaplane. What do I expect?
Okay, well, this is going to be awesome. Once we get in, we'll get her started up, and then we get a bit of a tour of the river as we taxi out. And once we've got enough speed, she'll just float right off the water.
Sean offers various tours in the Wilga, from 10-minute joy flights over Maroochydore to longer jaunts.
Today we're going to Noosa.
All right.
So we'll head up the coast, go past all those beautiful beaches on the way.
And with the water being so beautiful here, you'd be able to see a lot of wildlife.
We do. We often see, during the whale season, we see quite a few whales. There was one flight we did this last year that we saw 4 different groups of whales on one flight. Fantastic. And the water was so clear you could actually see the whales while they were underwater. Really cool.
There's plenty to see on land too.
This is Mount Coolum. Now I've been told, and I haven't been able to verify this, but I've been told by a number of people, that is the 2nd largest monolith in the world behind Uluru.
Oh, wow.
Right here on the sunny coast.
Quite large.
Yeah.
Unlike other fixed wings, the Wilga offers expansive views. But what else would you expect from a spy plane?
The story that I've heard is that this airplane was actually used to patrol the Berlin Wall.
Is that right?
Yeah. Everything sort of does line up. I mean, it certainly would be possible, and that was definitely what the plane was designed for, so I think there's a better than average chance that it's actually true. Just a beautiful, beautiful aircraft to fly. She's very smooth, very stable.
And super reliable. This particular plane was built in 1982, based on a 1950s Soviet design used right through to the year 2000.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's exactly right.
Our trusty Wilga makes short work of the journey to beautiful Noosa, soaring over rugged National Park, the tourist strip and Noosa River before turning home.
Such an amazing perspective of the coastline.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just look at the colors down there.
Yeah.
It just always blows me away. It's always different, and it's always beautiful.
Paradise Seaplanes operate from the Maroochy River in Maroochydore on the Sunshine Coast. My 30-minute Noosa River adventure is just one of the fantastic aerial tours on offer.
That's it, we're down.
Wow, that's magnificent. Well done.
Thank you.
That's so smooth.
For more information, head to the Queensland Weekender website. And if you're planning on staying in the region, visit Sunshine Coast has loads of suggestions.
There's a lot to see at North Stradbroke Island on land. It's truly an amazing place. However, it's a fringing bay and ocean, which has got a lot going for it also. And I plan on exploring them in great depth after the break.
It's all about flavour. I think that's one of the things that we've mastered, getting that flavour right. Really intense flavour, but getting the right heats as well. My name's Dylan Perez, and with my wife Katrina, we own King of the Wings.
Barbecue and
Cider wedges. Being the first chicken wing truck in Australia is pretty cool. I think our most popular, for the chili heads, it's the Trilogy. It's different to any chili sauce you find anywhere else, but generally it's the bee sting. About 6 years ago, we were tossing up the idea of opening up a restaurant. We love the wing culture. We spent a lot of time in the States. At that time, there was only 3 trucks in Brisbane, so we actually looked into food trucks. We're the 4th on the scene, and it basically took off from there. Enjoy. Thanks, Jim. So in 2016, we got discovered through social media by Drew Serza, the president of the National Buffalo Wing Festival in Buffalo, New York. He invited us to represent Australia at Wingfest to compete against 25 of America's biggest chicken wing brands. 80,000 people over the 2 days. We were cooking from almost 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. both days. They had a line-up of about 50 deep fryers and just people cooking constant wings the whole day. We were a bit worried at first going over there and competing against them because, you know, we thought we'd come back with a certificate for travelling the furthest. But we got first place for Best New Vendor out of 8 new vendors for that year. And we also got second place overall for Best Wing Sauce. And the Yanks actually loved the fact that someone from Australia, out of a small chicken wing food truck, got second place in their own game. We're now opening a restaurant at the Gold Coast in the middle of Surfers Paradise. We're joining up with the Gold Coast Meter Maids to create a different experience for the Gold Coast.
Wow! That's really nice.
It's really Surfers Paradise themed, and it's going to be a real tourist destination. Oh, you want to find out the recipe? Find out from the Colonel first, and then I'll give you mine.
Queensland has some pretty incredible scuba diving locations, and people come from all over to swim our reefs, photograph our wrecks and encounter our marine life. And having a dive ticket is the only way you can explore them. Now, it's been on my to-do list for quite a while. I'm heading to the Whitsunday soon. I really need to get a dive in, so I've signed up for the SSI course. SSI stands for Scuba Schools International, and for the next 2 days I'm going to be in the safe hands of James Griffith from Manta Lodge and Scuba Centre on North Stradbroke Island. And before we even think about grabbing a set of fins, our underwater adventure begins in the classroom. I'm keen to exceed and become a dazzler, a dazzling diver.
That's my goal. I'll get you through.
I reckon you can. You have to be prepared to work your way through all the theory because let's face it, when you're 10 metres underwater, you want to know how all the science works. And part of this is being familiar with your gear.
So this is our equipment. We're going to be setting up some of our gear. So I've got a range of BCDs, range of regs, and also just all our tanks.
It sounds like a lot of gear, but when you think all of this keeps you alive underwater, you will hear no complaints from me. Primary and our secondary. Now, why do we have a secondary?
So if there were any problems,
Your buddy's struggling?
That's it. No, well, out of air scenarios.
Yeah, out of air. Yep.
Something malfunctions.
Yep.
You're always with a buddy, and that I'll be able to offer you my primary or offer you my alternate. And there's a couple of different ways, depending on the teaching organisation, how you do it. So I'll run through that in the pool.
We're practicing first in the pool before taking the plunge out to sea.
So just some first steps, learn about using our second stage, our regulator. So with this guy, there's a couple of ways to clear it, just like we use with our snorkel. You can purge it using the air from your lungs, so just put it in your mouth and going two, and it blasts that water out the exhaust. But a little bit easier is using the air from your tank, and that is using this little purge button. The important thing is not to blast any water in your mouth. Like you got your mask on.
You can tell James is a diver with hundreds of dives under his belt. He is confident and really knows his stuff. Well, James, how do you think I went?
You're the best diver I had all day.
I'm the only one.
Only one.
Had all day.
No, you're really good. I think you're natural.
Now, we've obviously just implemented a number of safety techniques. Now, why is it also important to do this in the pool?
Repetition makes perfect. So, look, getting in and doing a safe environment in like the pool, like we've got here, confined water, you just got to get those procedures down pat, like we've done. Just repetition, practice makes perfect.
I think I'm ready to hit the deep water. What do you reckon?
I reckon so. Let's go add some salt.
I'm quickly learning that a dive boat is a very exciting place. So we've just seen the whales breach it right next to the other side of the boat. It was a black-tipped hammerhead shark, apparently. Is that right? Yeah. Black-tipped hammerhead shark. So all of the nature is out, the wildlife is out today, and we're going to get diving and have a closer look. One by one, the divers each go overboard before my time arrives.
Ready, Rubble? You ready?
And away you go.
It's like another world down here. For me, as a first-time diver, it's breathtaking to see so much life and colour, all just 10 metres below the surface. You're going to want to stick around because there's even more of this after the break. I'm on a studycation to Stratty to earn myself a scuba diving ticket, and the Allure Stradbroke Resort on Home Beach has been the perfect place to base myself and do a bit of homework. Oh no, I've had another sleep in. I'm gonna be late for my exam. We better get going. Today I'm completing my last 2 dives before I can officially call myself a qualified SSI open water diver, and I couldn't think of a better place to do it.
Queensland's an amazing section of coast from the Great Barrier Reef all the way down to the southern section of Queensland. Like we've got from Moreton, Fraser, all the way up the Gold Coast. We're really lucky. It's such a diverse area.
And what about the back door here?
Yeah,
at Stratty.
We've got a bit of a combination on Stratty. We've got a lot of the little things, but also got the bigger animals, like we saw yesterday. The humpback whales had those big petrels up, slapping on the ground.
Amazing. Manta Lodge has been around since 1992. That's 26 years of teaching newbies like me how to dive.
I'm lucky that I've got a great crew. It's not so much the shop, it's the instructor itself. And I'm lucky, Ian, Rachel, Dan, I've got a very good crew and I've always had great staff. I'm lucky in that respect, and that's who's going to teach you. You need to have a good instructor.
Yep. A new day means a new set of divers and a new location.
I take you up the shallow end of Shark Alley. This is your 3rd and 4th dive today, and I'm going to get you to about 18 metres. And so I've got to get you using your dive computer, and I want you up close, having a look at those sharks. Go through, practice makes perfect on those skills, so we'll go through a few more of those skills.
Let's do it. Oh, it's a little bit choppy this morning, but James did promise me some wildlife. And it looks like a few baby humpbacks are enjoying these rough seas. If things do happen to go wrong underwater, you want to know the best way to deal with it, which makes all this training with James so valuable. But with that taken care of, we can focus our attention on all of this incredible scenery around us. What a blast. Thanks to Manta Lodge and Scuba Centre, I am a qualified SSI open water diver. Look them up if you're interested in getting your dive ticket. Stratty Ferries will get you to North Stradbroke Island. They have vehicle barges and water taxis zipping back and forward from Cleveland to Dunwich several times a day. And the Allure Stradbroke Resort has quirky shacks and villas that are a comfortable option for anyone wanting to holiday here. They also have a special deal for Queensland Weekender viewers. Check out our website for all the links. There's plenty of other good ideas you can browse there as well. Or search our friends at queensland.com and Queensland Rail Travel. Keep up with our travels on Facebook and Instagram. And a reminder to get your entries in for our latest competition to Kingfisher Bay Resort. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Well done.
Well, all the theory, the pool sessions and the dives was worth it for this little piece of paper. It is my ticket to a whole new world. And I'm sure I'm going to use it again soon. Unfortunately, that's all we got time for today. We'll see you again soon.